was terrific. And of course, the Spanish was perfect because Melinda
Southwest.
Has a Hispanic background.
And also from Texas.
And also from Texas. And I believe her ancestry is partly from Cuba.
Yes.
And it was just beautiful. It was magnificent. I selected the exact right person for that one. It was wonderful. So our last state where we're honoring women writers from that state is Arkansas. In Warriors Don't Cry and White is a State of Mind, Melba Patillo Beals chronicles her experience as a member of the Little Rock Nine, the first black students to attend Central High School in Little Rock in 1957. Currently, Beals, born in 1941 in Little Rock, works as a journalist and professor at Dominican University of California. The second writer, we're going to have a reading from that writer, and that's Helen Gurley Brown, who was born in Green Forest, Arkansas. Of course, she's deceased, 1922 to 2012. She rose from a secretary at an ad agency to become editor of Cosmopolitan magazine and one of the most famous and controversial women of her cultural era in America. During her 32 years as editor-in-chief of Cosmo, she published almost a dozen books. Her book, Sex and the Single Girl, written in 1962, was published in 28 countries and inspired a 1964 film and a television series. The last Arkansas author we're going to honor is Nancy A. Collins. She was born in McGee in 1959. She's a writer of horror fiction and comic books. Collins is best known for her vampire novel series featuring the character Sonia Blue. Collins has also published over 40 short stories, including The Dream Clown in 1983, The Ice Wedding in 2009. In 1990, she received the Bram Stoker Award for her novel Sunglasses After Dark. I thought only the Blues Brothers wore those, Sunglasses After Dark, but in any event, we have Pat Kreider from Canton, Ohio, to read a brief excerpt from Helen Gurley Brown.
Thank you. And this is a book of tips, I assume.
Yes,
she said. And I have to follow the really good reader. It's not fair. So Helen Gurley Brown, in her tip book, she has this tip: try to do the difficult things first each day. But if you can't, don't. Usually you don't do small stuff early or you'll empty your energy pool, but occasionally you have to do the possible to develop momentum for the impossible. Do thank you notes for a party or present. Nail the doctor's appointment, etc. I trust you to prime the pump with little stuff as absolutely necessary before you take off for major, but don't blow the morning. And then another tip: happy employees never squander, like wait in a restaurant with nothing to do, time. Sometimes I take my little dictaphone along and dictate critiques of foreign editions of Cosmo in the car. Sign mail there, call friends I don't have time to gossip with in the morning. Hopefully she's got a driver. Restaurant waiting is not for using the cell phone. Be reasonable. But for reading a folded up op-ed piece tucked into your purse, writing notes for a talk, reorganizing the wallet, that's a scary thought, and making lists. Is it crazy and life-destroying to be so busy? I don't think so. I decided long ago time was too precious not to fit a lot in. It's okay to squander time on vacation, in bed, or just thinking, but not waiting for a lunch date. You also know how to cut short a dragging on lunch, friend visit to the office, or any phone call taking too long. Organized sounds revolting, but isn't. The more you fit in, the more you can fit in. Plus, organized people are usually the ones other people want to be around because we don't screw up and cause everyone pain.
Because this is being filmed, I just want to say that these women are so gracious, and they do what all women do, is multitasking, and at the last minute I asked them to read. They were all fabulous, and I appreciate it so much. So this concludes the portion of our 50 state honorees. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Janice, for hosting us. Yes. It's a lovely lunch.